The sun is giving! And it's 7 o'clock. Okay, daylight saving. I can't snap, but... Ooh. Y'all don't mind this. I was sweating at the gym and I was working hard. You know, that's a good example of what I'm going to be talking about today. Today's video. Hey, my name is Cilya. If you're new to this channel, nice to meet you. My name is Cilya. But this video is about things to normalize when you're on your loc journey. I just want to start off by saying, if you just made the decision to lock your hair, you have the installment date set up, or if you just got your hair installed, or if you're still on your loc journey, congratulations, because that is a huge decision in its own. Continuing to have locks, making the decision to have locks, all of that is a huge decision, and I'm proud of you, girl. I get so happy when I see people in the comments like, oh, my establishment date is gonna be here, I'm gonna be 6 months in this time, da da da. I love it. I love to hear it, like, seriously. I'm making this video for people that are on their loc journey, for people who begin to start their loc journey. You know, it can be confusing seeing all the videos out there and seeing all the different journeys and being exposed to all the different things that come with locks, the perks, the pros, the cons, the highs and the lows, all of that. Sometimes it's either a situation where you see a video and you're like, am I gonna go through that on my journey? Or sometimes it's a situation where I'm going through something in my journey and I don't see anybody else posting about it, so is this normal? This is this type of video for you guys. One of the most important things that I want you guys to normalize is that your journey is your journey. So anything that happens to you, that frequently happens to you, that's normal based off of your individualized experience. Don't think that you're out of the norm. Don't think that things are just horrible or things are not going according to plan and stuff like that, because your plan is the right plan and you have to cater to your locks the way they feel like they need to be loved. Okay, girl, first thing I want to talk about is discrepancy in locks. It doesn't matter if you have traditional locks, micro locks, sister locks, like any type of locks, freeform locks, you're not gonna have every individual piece of hair or lock looking the same. There are gonna be some small ones, there are gonna be some big ones, there are gonna be some healthy ones, there are gonna be some I need a more tender, loving, caring ones. Some are gonna grow faster than others, some are gonna stay short, some are gonna be bulbous, some of them are gonna be nice and neat and fine looking. Some of them will even mature faster than other locks on your hair. Like, that's the thing that I just found out this year. I'm just like, okay, this part of my hair looks mature. This part of my hair, I don't know if it's been covered up too much and it's not exposed, but it's not as mature as this strand. And that's normal. You got to think of your hair like a plant. You know, you first start off with the basics, but as your plant grows, there's going to be some parts of the plant that are not going to resemble the other parts of the plant, but overall you still have to continue to water it and take care of it for the overall health of the entire unit. Yeah, but that's something to normalize discrepancy in shape and length. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is to normalize having bad hair days. Everybody that be scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and you see everybody with these beautiful locks, the first thing you think, well, the first thing I thought when I first started my journey, or before I even started my journey, I was like, dang, it looks like that all the time. I can't wait. But after the first week of having locks, I found out what it is. It's impossible to have a good hair day every day. I'm gonna just tell you that. And that goes for even if you don't have locks, to be honest. But let me tell you how. When it comes to your locks and you going in between reties for your locks, you're gonna grow out your hair. You're gonna have that new growth phase between each session. And when you have that new growth phase, your hair looks less neater than it looked when you first got your retie. So you gotta do more detangling and maintaining, keeping everything together. Specifically for small locks, you have to maintain your edges because they get really thin. And some of the locks look a little stressed, if that's the word. That's the best word I could think of. When you wake up in the morning, you don't wake up like Rapunzel and just like, ooh, like, you know, you got a bonnet on, you got a scarf on. It's kind of like having natural hair. Sometimes your hair gets condensed and flattened out and you have to bring it back alive again. And there are good hair days. There are bad hair days. There are days where your hair is going to be dry. There are days where your hair is going to be flourishing and and everybody's just like, ooh, nice. But normalize your hair not looking A1 all the time. It's okay. Normalize your hair acting up for different reasons during different seasons, because it's hot outside, you're sweating. If it's cold outside, your scalp gets a little dry and irritated. You just got to normalize things just not being up to par. And once you come to the realization that that's okay, it's going to make the journey even more easier, and you're just going to go with the flow and accept what's going on for what it is. If your hair doesn't look the same way it looked last week, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It was just a different week. Normalize not doing your edges, especially in the beginning. Like, seriously, I don't even think doing edges makes a hairstyle phenomenal, you know, for my opinion and stuff like that. But when it comes to doing your edges, you got to use product, you got to use gel or edge control or stuff like that. And you don't want to really have that much product in your hair because it causes buildup. It could stay in your hair and cause damage eventually. So normalize not having slick edges if you're thinking about making the decision to get locks, or if you have locks and you're looking to do certain hairstyles. I'm not saying it's not okay to do edges, but normalize not doing them for every single hairstyle. Speaking of styles, something that I realized throughout this journey, you know, you go through your phases of having your locks, and you go through the milestones of having, you know, it goes past your ear, it goes past your shoulder length, you could do a ponytail and stuff like that. So the styles that come with your locks come with length too. There are a whole bunch of styles that I saved on Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that I wanted to try, but I literally could not do them yet because I did not have the length for it, or I didn't have the fullness for it, and my hair just was not ready for it. So normalize not being able to do certain hairstyles, and even after you've tried all the hairstyles, normalize not having any more hairstyles to try until your hair gets longer for the short hair girlies. Don't get discouraged when you can't do certain hairstyles that people with longer hair can do, because all you got to do is look forward to it. You got something else to look forward to. I got my thing saved. I'm just like, oh, I can't wait, because when it gets to right here, I'm about to try this out and this out and this out and that out. So it's okay, girl. It's about to happen. It's going to happen. Something else that I'm going to talk about, I made 2 shorts about it, and it's the white follicles in the hair. Of when it comes to your reties, you know, they're the dead hair follicles that are supposed to fall off, but they stay within the lock. Those white hair follicles really show up for me right after I'm done washing my hair or during reties. Someone actually said that, like, you know, when you do reties, it kind of like adds a little bit of tension to your hair, so it makes the white follicles more prominent. But that does not happen to everybody, but it does happen to me, and it happens to other people that have locks. And some people, it's more prominent than others. There's some areas in your hair that are more prominent than other parts of your hair. So I don't have the white follicle problem every single part of my head, but it's something to normalize. That doesn't mean that there's an issue. It's simply just the natural hair process. Your hair's not able to shed like it would be if you had loose natural hair, so it's just staying in your hair, and that's it. Something else, this was kind of like a hard pill for me to swallow a little bit at first, but when it comes to your hair, normalize it not smelling like peaches and cream, pineapples, all those good hair products that you used to put on your hair before you lock your hair. Normalize it not smelling that good and it just smelling bland or like you, period. Personally, it depends on what type of locks you have, but some people, when they first start their lock journey for the first year or 2, they cannot put any products in their hair, especially the smelly good products, because it will stunt the maturing process. That first year that I had my hair locked, I was struggling a little bit. I was just like smelling my hair sometimes. I'm just like, what does my hair smell like? Like, what does my hair smell like? Speaking of smells of hair, you have to protect your hair in certain environments because your hair will absorb the smell. Let me give you an example. For instance, if you're barbecuing, outside and it's you on the grill, or if you're by the person on the grill, your hair is going to absorb that smoke smell and your hair is going to smell like barbecue until ... But yeah, normalize not using the smelly good products on your hair for a little bit. I just started using the green tea Sisterlocks shampoo, and oh my gosh, it smells so good. Like, you know how you've been deprived of something, like a certain product, for so long? I was so happy when I started using that product because of the fact that it just smelled good. Okay, the sun went down. I got 2 more things to talk about. So one of the things that I want to talk about is to normalize is shrinkage. Your hair, the shrinkage depends on the type of hair you have and the density of the hair you have. I have high density hair, 4C hair. And about the shrinkage, when you first start your locks, you're gonna have a lot of shrinkage. You're gonna continue to have shrinkage throughout your journey within that first year or two, or however long it takes for you, but you have to normalize it. Just because your hair is locked, you do retain your length, but you still experience shrinkage, and I think a lot of people don't really talk about that. But you can experience shrinkage if you start your locks with long hair or if you started with short hair. I started it with short hair. I still got shrinkage. Right after I had my hair installed, that first wash, it was cut. Long hair people that have very like fine hair, once they lock their hair after that first wash, touch the humidity, it's cut too. Like it's bouncing up a little bit. But have the discipline to wait, because there will become a point of time during your lock journey to where it's not shrinking as much and it just continues to grow. So just keep your head up. Last thing I want to talk about to normalize is losing a lock. So I'm not saying that you should be losing locks left and right. Like, that's not normal. But if you lose a lock in an area where you have more thinner hair, like this is my area right here, there's ways to go about it. Your loctician, she can combine it. You could do whatever you need to do to strengthen that area. But if you lose a lock, it is not the end of the world. There's even certain procedures that you could do for locks where you could reattach a lock to your hair. So it's not the end of the world if you lose a lock. And I think something big that I had anxiety about is losing a lock during my lock journey, because I was just like, oh my gosh, if I lose a lock, it's gonna mess everything up. Everything's gonna look, out of order, and I might start losing more locks. I don't know if I was the only person thinking that, but that's not the case. And I've lost maybe honestly like 5 locks throughout this journey. 5 locks. And some of the time I don't even notice when the lock is lost. Like these, I don't remember when this, I didn't necessarily like lose a lock, but this right here, I don't know what happened. And this, I don't know what happened. And this, I don't know what happened. I think it happened between a hairstyle or whatnot. So be careful when you're styling your hair. Be very gentle, especially between reties when you have a lot of new growth, because you can accidentally rip a lock too. So that's another thing. I mean, don't normalize that, but just be careful. But I did find a lock in one of my clothes, like part of it. So I'm thinking about reattaching it one of these days, and I'll just film about it. But that kind of sums up the things to normalize when it comes to having locks. And I hope this really helps anybody that's on their journey, thinking about starting their journey, because it's very like tense when something out of the ordinary of what you see online happens to you during your journey. You think the worst. And I'm just here to let you know that it's okay and other people are experiencing it. And if anybody else has anything else to add to this video as far as things to normalize, please comment down below. And if you want to talk about your journey too and things that you've experienced, comment down below. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.